so many changes that's happening over the last decade, and let's be narrowing down our focus on the last few years to go by. What changes in the macro environment with respect to regulations, especially in terms of pharma branding? I mean, the audience here are mainly to do with the head office and the marketing teams. Has been important for us to keep.
I think we cannot look at pharma as a silo when we are discussing about the macro changes that are happening to the environment. The environment is being impacted by the healthcare in totality. And when I talk about the healthcare in totality, it is pharmaceutical is one of those verticals of the healthcare sector. The hospitals, the doctors is another, the diagnostics is another, which we need to look at, in totality.
The first important thing, I think, what Ashok touched, I must say is, see, there is a purpose, we have, whether it is pharma or any segment, that is there in healthcare. And that is very, very clear. We are talking about, I think he made a very good point, while we are trying to take care of the illness, the ultimate purpose is wellness. That's what, we are talking about. So as this guy, Disraeli, who mentioned, that the secret of success is constancy.
Doing whatever I'm doing, right? So I think as marketeers, I think the key is going to be on market shaping. Okay, so which is the market leverage point you're focusing on for your brand? Is it awareness? Is it diagnostics? Is it treatment choice? Is it brand choice? Is it fulfillment or adherence? If you're able to pinpoint that my primary objective is diagnosing the patient right, or is it a treatment choice, then that's what the rep needs to do. Rep needs to know. So I am communicating the scientific evidence to the doctor because I'm trying to shape the doctor's mind to use this treatment choice. So I think that's going to be the key in execution. It's not about just giving some tools and digital tools and saying that I want you to promote this scientific paper if the rep does not know the purpose of promoting the scientific paper. So for example, I had product managers coming and saying that I have done 10 activities. So I said, why did you do 10 activities? What is the reason for it? What's the strategic imperative due to which, or the business growth driver which needed you to do those activities? Is it to shape the market? So I would say that shaping the market is critical, and for that you need to identify the key leverage point. And at the rep level, I always say there are 5 W's: what, where, who, when, why. I hope I've covered all the W's. But if I'm able to communicate this to the doctor, then I'm able to help the doctor help the patient.
It's time that probably the industry as well as the HCP got together to develop, like I mentioned in the past, Indian specific consensus guidelines, which gives an algorithm. And when it gives an algorithm, and that algorithm, whether it is for an effective therapy, whether it's for diabetic therapy, whether it's for cardiac therapy, or whether it's for the newer diseases, this is something which becomes a protocol. And when it becomes a protocol, it gets followed down the line. And then is when we can get into what Mr. Hariram brought out very well, impact analysis. And that impact analysis will give us guidance as to what we are doing right, what we are doing wrong.
I'll try to keep it brief and try to keep it simple. First of all, from a strategic perspective, I think please understand strategy is a tool. It's a tool to realize a vision or an aspiration. A strategy is simple when the vision and aspiration is simple. And unfortunately, a lot of our pharma marketeers make this a fairly complicated affair. And a lot of our vision and aspirations, unfortunately, also are very revenue and profitability centric. That's not how it is. If you look at leading corporations around the world, their vision is never revenue. It follows. Look at Nike, they celebrate great champions. Look at Disney, they build products where dreams come true. Think NASA, they wanted to put a man on the moon. Simple, one-line statements, puts an aspiration that really motivates, really centers the organization. I'm talking about some of these visions that are at the org level, but there is nothing that cannot be translated at a brand, at a division, at a cluster, at a business level.